And that was the last one,
St. Patrick's Day, and that brings us to an EPA certified this patent from San Diego to Singapore. We're talking money, y'all, to license this. The Plumbers Union, no, we're going to keep that a Chicago thing only. It lasts about 2 days in the river before it dissipates. You know, this river, another unnatural thing about it? Well, the color is natural. Dyeing it on St. Patrick's Day is not natural. And the flow of the river, no longer natural. It used to flow into Lake Michigan. In the 1890s, we reversed the flow of the river, and now it flows into the Sanitary and Ship Canal, which connects the river to the lower river, that is the Des Plaines. Now, Lake Michigan, here, the Des Plaines River, here. The Chicago River no longer wants to flow to Lake Michigan because we dug a canal introducing it to a lower body of water. So the Chicago River to the Sanitary and Ship Canal to the Des Plaines River to the Illinois River to the Mississippi River to the Gulf of Mexico. And that takes about 90 days for a ping pong ball that is not affected by the wind. It's just 100 yards behind our boat right now. Jean-Baptiste Dusable was the first person, the first non-native person to settle permanently in this area. In other words, he is the father of Chicago. The first non-native person to say, I want to stay here year-round. I want to raise a family here and have a homestead here. Now, we ignored this man. When I say we, the historical institution of America, the Trump International Hotel and Tower. This is from 2009, designed by Skidmore, Owings and Merrill. It's 422 meters in height, and take a look at the windows that Adrian Smith contextualized the building with. Those windows on the Trump are eerily similar to the windows next door. This is an homage. This is Adrian Smith saying, I really like your work, Vanderohe, and you meant a lot to me as a young architect. You know what? It's double-edged sword because it also helps the building fit in to the neighborhood. A neo-futurist postmodern building amongst the founder of modernism. Modernism means less is more. Beauty is found in simplicity, durability, economy, and utility. Mies van der Rohe, unsurprisingly, immigrated from Germany in the 1930s. A good yes or no question for you. Was Bertrand Goldberg, did he subscribe to his teacher's dark 90-degree theory? He rejected modernism, thank you. He rejected modernism and said, I've never seen a cubicle bird's nest. So what is, and activity space, recreational space, you've got restaurants, you've got entertainment like a bowling alley and a House of Blues, you've got your parking spaces, and of course a residence. One petal of the flower gets you a studio, 1.5 gets you a 1-bedroom, 2 petals gets you a 2-bedroom. Good luck decorating a triangle. Before Wayfair and IKEA, it was impossible without custom furniture. Hey, look at policy, so leave it to the valets. 2 cars have come off the side, one for a film with Steve McQueen, The Hunter, 1979. Another for an insurance commercial. Are you in good hands? This is the Reed Murdoch Center from 1914, designed by George Nimmons. It was installed symmetrical, designed symmetrical. LaSalle Street and its bridge had to be expanded and constructed respectively, so they removed a bay of windows and slammed the bookend, hoping you wouldn't notice. For those of you with a more refined ocular palette, tell me about the bricks on the end cap and the bricks on the warehouse. Are they the same? Why do we have a clock tower at the top of industrial warehouses? Well, mostly because this building, 300 North LaSalle, 90% of its metals are recycled. Its roof is 85% native green plants. And finally, here on the starboard side, we have a large, this is the merchandise mart. It's 4.2 million square feet. If you prefer common sense, that's 380,000 square meters. This is the industrial Art Deco style, financed by Marshall W. Fields, designed by Graham Anderson, Probst, and White. Now, Marshall W. Fields consolidated 18 different warehouses into one strategic location. What's strategic about it, tour guide Scott? That's such a good question. Those giant Pez dispensers were installed by the Kennedy estate whenever they took over the building. You see, Joe Kennedy bought it for half price, 13 mil, in 1940. Where did he get 13 million in liquid cash during the Depression? 2 places. Securities fraud and insider trading were perfectly legal up until 1931. The name of the Securities and Exchange Commissioner that made those processes illegal, his name was also Joseph Kennedy. Work from home, stop construction. But boss, we got 20 more stories to finish. Signed our city into charter with 3,000 people. By 1871, we had 300,000 people. That's 34 years. 300 condition. However, the rail line it used to connect is defunct. For those of you from the area, the Chicago Sun-Times had its raw out for the Trump Tower. We don't need that railroad anymore. This is the Fulton House by Frank Abbott from 1898. No windows, walls a meter thick. They pulled 1,100 dump trucks of horsehair and cork out of this dairy cold storage in 1979, cut the windows in, and added and made it a condo. That's Harry Weiss that did that project. Take a look at Harry Weiss again in 1988, immediately to the left. Does he like to sail or what? Porthole accent windows, captain's quarter doors, spiral staircases, triangular sail-shaped panels. If there are any skeptics on the boat that say, you know, I'm not sure if Harry Weiss likes to sail or not, I think normally we've had Oprah Winfrey. We still have Michelle Obama coming in and out on occasion, her husband, Rahm Emanuel, Rod Blagojevich Park. Kinsey Park is from 2002. It's 70 Euro style houses sold at sight unseen for $1.2 million in 2002. Now, was that a good thing? Lovely, just a gem. I would call this a gem of the North Branch, Kinsey Park. A real treat. 0 tour guides live in Kinsey Park. I did a door-to-door survey, found 0. 1 tour guide has a 6-month ban. These are clearly from the same designer. There's no need to go on the Maury Povich show of architects. Lucien Lagrange, you are the architect. Now, what's Lucien Lagrange going for here? The Northern Euro-industrial style. Did it catch on in the South Korea? And unsurprisingly, Northern Europe were the hotbeds for this style. Now, take a look at Aaron Montgomery Ward Park. Aaron Montgomery Ward Park is named in honor and memory of Aaron Montgomery Ward because he spent $3.2 million suing his own friends' land developments to make sure that Grant Montgomery Ward, this is his auxiliary broom closet. Some of you would say, Scott, that's an industrial warehouse. And yeah, if this was like, look, that's Aaron Montgomery Ward's warehouse. See ahead of us? In Martin from 1912. Now today, this massive Aaron Montgomery Ward warehouse is multi-use. You've got commercial use for it. You've got a gym. You've got some condos and some retail. So a little bit of everything. And history museum. The other 4 will either be sold to private collectors or scrapped for the steel. And Bally's Casino and Resort is going to take over right here. Now, Bally's Casino and Resort had 3 spots they were choosing, that the city was choosing, and the Lincoln Yards drew the short straw. I tip my hat to, I know this is typically an industrial and commercial area, but 15% of Lincoln Yards, that's the vision we have for you. Our police and fire pensions count on it. This is going to be a Riverwalk connecting the casino all the way down to the main stem. Now I'm going to talk about some things you can't drink. Jasmine is downstairs. That's our bartender. Got drinks and even some salties and sweet snacks. But folks, Chicago plant grew rampantly in the Chicago River Basin, and it rotted every August, causing the skunkiest area with that plant, Chicago. And so they just called the area Chicago. So that's where we get the name. That's been Franklicized into. They realized they found the Gulf of Mexico. Well, close enough. So they turned around with some great advice. Hey, Frenchman, you know the North River? Dogleg it east and north on the Des Plaines River. That's going to bring it to a swamp. Now this part's tough, but it's worth it. You're going to put this city. Gable on the bottom. This over the city Riverwalk and over the train tracks, giving us the most beautiful view of the day, our very own reflection. All varying platforms, which are on scale And this is from Perkins and Will, 1990. It was originally owned by Morgan Salt. You can see they left their salt shaker behind. They owned and took it over for a massive Illinois tax credit. And Morgan's smart because they're headed to Virginia for another tax credit. And that's double smart because not only will they get a corporate tax credit in Virginia, but they'll also get to lobby over lunch now that they're next to DC. No more flying for those expensive weekends. Look over your right shoulder. I want you to see what Perkins and Will did here. Remember, profitable and movable train tracks on the west, underground. Shots of bourbon and the rest coffee. Skidmore Movies and Barrel. Look how these contextualize the patio seating with the river. See the river melted out ahead of us, the patio seating comes out. And then also the kaleidoscope in the city. So the city's reflection on the building is reflected like the river. So that's a double-edged sword. It contextualizes. But sometimes I really hate their work. Do y'all have an artist like that in your life? You're like, oh my gosh, they really get it. And in over scene 32, now in the universe that I pay income tax, this is the old Chicago post office. In the universe that I build a highway right there, we'll have to figure out a way to make that work. No, they went to the drawing board and say, okay, highway post office. How do we get until our friends from across the pond came over, spent $800 million printing it up, and now we couldn't bring ourselves to blame it. So you know who was? That Catholic over there. That's who did it. I read in the paper. Extra, read all about it. Fastest growing city in America. Burned down by Irish Catholic immigrant. No, baby. She was an Irish Catholic immigrant entrepreneur. She owned a milk run. So if it wasn't Katie O'Leary and it wasn't Billy Joel, stone alleys, cobblestone alleys, brick alleys, these would stop fires in their tracks. You just line your firemen up on that stone alley, and learned this since 1685. Don't you dare let anyone tell you that the Great Chicago Fire was an accident. It was negligence. Wow, that's cool to watch. No wonder nobody was paying attention. Oh, I'm clowning. It's just an issue. Gina Davis because it is a superb example of neoclassical meeting postmodern. In that respect, 55 West Wacker, this would be the Danny DeVito. Now this is, Danny DeVito is a popular building. Danny DeVito is a stocky building full of character. We do love our Danny. That's by C.F. Murphy from 1968 in the brutalist style. Immediately to our right is 35 West Wacker. This is described as a postmodern column within a column within a column. It's expensive to custom dye terracotta and fire it. You know what else is expensive? 24 karat gold plating the roof of your building. But I don't have to tell you that. You know it's expensive. Amsterdam has 72. So double the size. However, those of you that have been to Amsterdam, you know that theirs are Lego sized. for a bicycle house from 1923 by Alfred Schuler. It's in the Beaux-Arts style. And this is where Fort Dearborn was located. And it was a perfect spot for Fort Dearborn from 18 and rubble into the lake because that was the cheapest thing to do. Kind of like building for the Potawatomi Nation. Can celebrate their heritage in some art pieces over here on the starboard side. We are on Potawatomi land. Peeking out behind the brown brick building, you're going to see white. These are called truncated frustrums. You'll see in the first tower, she has 3 frustrums that are kind of like square Rolo cannons, and she truncates them, they truncate them to make the towers wave in and out. Same thing with the middle, starting with an inverted, truncated frustrum. Now, notice between the 6th and 7th frustrum, there is a blow-through. A blow-through has one reason only, and that is here, have a cup of beer. That was our parenting for 25 years in the city of Chicago. So you will see a man driving a 2023 Audi pony up to the bar and order an old style. It's just dug into his system. That's what his great granddaddy grew up on. Hey folks, so we reversed the flow of the river. We beat that lawsuit with St. Louis, but 20 years go by and Ontario said, water a day, you gotta do something. Chicago ignored the letter. So Ontario lobbied 7 United States to sue Chicago's pants all the way to the ground, and we were forced to put in the Chicago Harbor Lock. That was the labor house, and the head house is directly in front of us. Think about this like a domestic customs. What's coming in from the pier, what's going out from the pier, that's what the head house was up to. Murder.